we all have a dream. And I think it's terrifying because it is a bold leap, especially in the season of life now where I am, because I didn't live thinking that I could. But the second you shift the mindset where you're like, no, I am, and I do, and you look around at everyone else and realize people do it, and the only difference is that they're just doing it. The only difference between that, you're just doing it.
Welcome to Now What, a podcast for women in midlife navigating reinvention, identity, and what's next. I'm your host, Melissa, and around here we keep it honest, unfiltered, and always find a reason to laugh. Because midlife isn't a crisis, it's just a plot twist. Let's go.
Lost Squad. Today's guest is someone who has quite literally grown up in front of me. Elle Casselman. I've known Elle since she was in high school with my kids, and watching her evolve has been nothing short of inspiring. She's now a Los Angeles-based digital creator, lifelong athlete, and someone who lives by the mantra, movement is a blessing. At just 22 years old, Elle has already made bold pivots, embracing discomfort, deepening her faith, and building a platform rooted in discipline, purpose, and growth. She is proof that reinvention doesn't have an age requirement. She's currently training for the LA Marathon and continues to use her platform to inspire others to see movement not as punishment, but as a privilege. I'm so excited to dive into her journey, her pivot, and what it means to intentionally build a life this early. Squad, please join me in welcoming to Now What, Elle Casselman.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited, and you already just blew me away. Oh my word, that's so kind. Thank you. Guys, all of my glossers, Melissa has been literally, we were next door neighbors back in the day. And Melissa is such an incredible mentor in my life. She was so selfless, continually made meals for me, drove me, seriously a godsend in my life. And it is such a privilege to be back here and back speaking with you because I have so much respect. This woman has not only, let's talk about like breaking barriers on like the weight that age carries, you're breaking every barrier when it comes to going and starting bodybuilding and going and starting your content and doing your podcast. I have so much respect for you, and seeing you do it so authentically, so boldly, persistently, and gracefully has not only just inspired me, but I'm so sure it inspired so many other glossers. And so I thank you for what you're doing.
Okay, first of all, thank you. I am like now, I never cried within the first 2 minutes, I guess. And all those things you said to me, I feel about you. And thank you. That is so, so kind. And it has been such an honor to see you through this evolution. And one of the reasons also I wanted to have you on the pod, well, A, because you're amazing and I love seeing you. But I think, okay, so I'm 54 years old. You're, as we confirmed,
Yeah.
21 years old, about to turn 22. Yeah. March 19th. And I think as older folks, we can learn a lot from you guys, from your generation. I don't think just because, yes, you can learn from us, you can learn things of what not to do, but you know what? I have, in watching you involved, you have inspired me at the right age of 21 now.
Thank
You
you.
lived, I'm not joking, like, you are part of my journey of being like, okay, look at Elle doing that. I think it's harder almost at, well, we'll get into this, at a younger age to pivot and break the mold than it almost is at my age.
Yeah. And I love that you say that too, because I genuinely think one of the most pivotal things for me that inspired the fact that you can go and do it is that we all, what creates our beauty is our individuality and our uniqueness. And I think that's why you can learn from anyone, because at the end of the day, if you are whatever spectrum of age you're on, whatever spectrum of life, whatever season of life you're facing, we all are individually in whatever season we are. And it's so unique to us. And that's why everybody carries wisdom, and it's the choice to then learn from it and grow from it in a I always say, like, I was very blessed by God to have opportunities at a young age to gain wisdom, and I think that because I'm young and because a lot of people do assume that I'm much older than I am with the way that I speak, and I think I used to look at it and be so insecure and be like, that's like, like avoid the age. But now it's something I wear with pride because it's like, yes, it is shocking. But I was so blessed to be able to have the opportunity to learn that I'm the only person that can control young and then decide I didn't want to live a life of what ifs, could haves, or should haves, but rather, no, I did everything I could to accomplish the dreams I set out for.
Well, but Al, that is something though. I am 54 years old and
Okay.
just now figuring that out. How that's what I mean. Like, that's why I am learning as much as from you as how you beautifully gave me the comment you learned from me, but it goes both ways. How old are you when we met? Because
Oh my word.
I
Probably
know.
like 14, 13, 14.
So th-
Freshman year of high school, we moved right next to you when I was in 8th grade, and so that's probably
okay.
13 years old.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
I used to be running,
Oh, man, it was you guys were the best. You guys are the you and Elle has
weird.
a set of twin younger
Okay.
sisters, Chloe and Joy, and now a beautiful brother.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Oh,
So Jack, correct, Jack?
and Michael Jack, MJ,
Michael Jack.
MJ, little Michael Jordan.
But I do remember you did always seem wise beyond your years.
Thank you.
People told you that?
It is a very consistent motif,
Yeah.
but I think when you live it, you don't think it. Because to me, it's
Of
just
course.
abysmal, and then you're always especially I'm very driven and very much constantly the way that I like to say it is because I think it's so important to reflect and slow down and be grateful and, like, acknowledge the season of life you're in, but also there's that drive of, like, where am I growing towards? Like, what am I'm a big believer 1% better every day, like, consistently growing, and so I think because I live it, I don't see it as much, but it is a motif that I hear a lot.
No, and it's a huge compliment. But I can see how maybe maybe some like, God, really enough. And now people so and so again. I was just having an interview with someone. I think I've always been told I'm too loud. And she goes, and do you say thank you or you're welcome? Or you
Yeah,
say thank you? I'm like, no, I like kind of straight. She's like, yeah, stop.
I love
Stop.
that.
Yeah. And I'm like, gosh, that's really important just to pause and say thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
so you graduated high school
Yeah.
class of
2022.
2022.
Yeah.
And you were part of the COVID.
Yeah. That's crazy. COVID was wild.
COVID was wild, and it broke my heart that you guys all had to go through that. But so wait, when COVID hit, obviously March
Yeah.
2020, your sophomore year?
Yes, it was my sophomore year, and it was a really, like, COVID happened, and then all of a sudden these other big life changes are happening, and you're very secluded, you're
Yeah.
naive, and it's like, "Well, Lord, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I learn how to navigate all of these situations at the young age of 15 years old?"
Yes. Now looking back from where you are now,
Yeah.
can you look back and see like, wow, I learned this from that, or this helped me grow. And if so, what? Because I still don't think a lot of kids your age have been able to reflect on that and really realize what they've learned or haven't learned.
I think it was a unique situation for me because it was on top of COVID. At the same time, my grandfather passed away from cancer. My family had been going through some things and there was a lot of instability. We moved. And then it was on top of that, like, I was just like literally right at the cutoff of gaining that freedom of having your license and everything. And the day I was supposed to go in, that got shut down. And so my life had just been like, okay, here I am. All of a sudden, the world shut down. You're kind of locked in the world that you feel like at that young age, like I'm so trapped, right? Like I'm so young. I don't have this power yet, but I'm here. And so I think it was really a blessing though, because what happened for me during COVID is that rather than I think a I think what could have been easy to do is go and find a distraction and, like, go and, get really into TV or learn how to play a video game or, like, go and
He
waste
started
time
drinking
somewhere.
so much wine. I mean, literally was like, it is known, like alcohol can severely hurt adults
For sh-
and TV
because
binging.
all of a sudden you have nowhere to go. You have nothing. It's like you're literally
Stress.
faced with the you're like faced with the what am I here for?
Yeah.
Because the world shut down. Where's my value? What do I do? And I had a unique situation where I was, really gaining my independence, but all of a sudden, like the world shut down. And what was incredible for me is that I gained, like, God always has perfect timing. Right around then, I'd always ran, but I had gained a friend who she was older than me, had her license, all of the above. And she ended up starting to run like 10 miles a day during COVID. And it became an incredible outlet for me. And right around then as well, I was songwriting. I just learned how to songwrite and play guitar. My grandpa, before he passed away, gave me a guitar on his bedside table. He gave me a guitar on his bedside table that was held together with Gorilla Glue and duct tape. And I had made a commitment to learn how to play and write a new song every week and send it to him. And
Every
so
week.
COVID, every week a new song. And so COVID's happening, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm running more, I'm writing more, and I'm learning more. And I just became really committed to this whole idea of, we are the only people we can control. Like I had to learn how to release control over anything else other than my own actions, my own reactions, my own perspective, and the way that I then navigated the situation. Because we can't control what comes at us, but we can control what we do in it.
Elle, again. I'm 54 years old and am just now really embracing this. I mean, it's wonderful, but it takes effort, right? It
Oh
takes
my word. And it's like
constant,
choice.
it's a constant choice, and it's not necessarily the easy choice.
No, and it's also not linear. And I think what I've witnessed with people around me who have seen this path, I think that it's really easy for somebody to see it, and we all kind of know the right decisions to make. Like we're sure have that gut feeling, but it's the choice of surrendering. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, this is not good for me, but this. And sometimes we go the but this way because it's comfortable and we know it, where discomfort is so necessary for growth. And sometimes we have to take a step back and be like, well, you know what? I'm going to close that door. And it might not be the easiest route for me, but I know doing this and making this choice every day long term is going to pay off. Right. And it's that almost like denying the instant gratification in order to understand, like, I'm here for longevity in everything.
Yes, 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 and yes, and it is, but it's doing. And one of the things that the bodybuilding process, because that was a year-long process, taught me, it's not about, oh, here's a,
That was so incredible, by the way. I was so inspired when I saw you taking that on. I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, this woman is incredible. The faith and the courage that it takes alone to go and step up and do something like that. And then the consistency and the drive that you have to have and the commitment and the constant choice you have to make to say no. It's like, it's hard. It takes so much discipline. I have so much respect for you to do that. Seriously.
well, thank you. And I appreciate that. And one of the lessons that you've already learned, though, is it's not about doing what, like with running, like this marathon, it's not about going out and doing one day a month, a 26-mile run.
Yeah.
It is consistently every day taking
Giving back.
action towards that goal, whether it's a run, whether it's how you feel your body,
Yeah.
whether it's how you rest and recover.
That's huge key too, is like that's just as important. And it's like
Oh,
learning. Oh, and it's for me the hardest part, but it's so important. And it's all of the factors that you have to be so bought into that you're committing to a lifestyle. It's like it's
yeah.
not a goal, but you're committing to a lifestyle that every choice I make, every decision I make, it's all aligning to this goal.
Yes. Yes. And it's not about perfection, right? We have to
No.
be careful getting that, because
No.
I definitely struggle with all or nothing. I'm either all in or I'm really all out.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes creates opportunity for fall off because we lack grace for ourselves. And I think when we lack grace and we desire perfection, which perfection is impossible. And once you have the peace of knowing, like, okay, what's the worst thing that happens? I fall, great. You know what? An incredible mentor told me, fall once, completely okay. Just make sure not to fall twice in a row. If you fall once, good. We're all meant to fall. We all fall, but it's just not, you just can't fall 2 times in a row. Okay,
Right.
back up and try again. Just
Yeah.
try again. But it's such a beautiful thing to fall because you know what? The courage it takes to like go off on the diving board of doing the unknown and jumping into an open water of all these potentials that, okay, you're going in bodybuilding. Well, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. And it's terrifying, right? You're looking at all of the potentials, all of the opportunities for failure, everything you have to do in the grand scheme. And you have to be so bought in where you have to have the grace of knowing, you know what, I'm committing to this for a deeper reason. And there are going to be moments where I might slip up. I might not do the perfect thing. I might not do my hot girl walk after dinner for my digestion. Like there's sometimes that
Is that what you call it? A hot girl walk? Oh man, you're the
well,
cutest.
it's known as a hot girl walk, but my little silly goofy twist is a happy girl walk because I think happy girl walk's the best because it's releasing endorphins.
Oh my God, you are the cutest. You are absolutely the cutest. I mean, as you're speaking, were you not obsessed with Lindsey Vonn in the Olympics?
Oh my
I
word,
mean,
obsessed.
do you follow her? I mean,
Yes.
talk about someone who, and she posted after that horrible, horrible crash. Obviously, was not what she wanted, was not what's expected. She can do it. Yet, and I'm going to get it wrong. I need to write it down and put it up. It was like, I tried, I jumped, I
Mm.
I fell, but I did it. And
And
her not doing it
yeah.
would have been worse than
Yes.
her
Yeah.
crash and these terrible surgeries she's having to do.
That's
And that was like
exactly.
spoke to me so much. You have to just go for it.
Exactly. And she, if I'm not mistaken, she tore her ACL, correct? Or meniscus.
She
Was
tore her ACL like the week before.
and decided to still go race this yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that that is the most perfect analogy for life because the fact that she stood there knowing that every odd was against her, but at the end of the day, if she doesn't show up, then she doesn't even have the opportunity to fall. Okay. At least she knows at the end of the day, she left no opportunity for what if, should have, could have. Like she gave it her all. And I think that is the most inspiring thing.
One thought, like my skin, like I wanted to about my
Yeah.
skin 1,000%. And one of the reasons that had me finally just rip the Band-Aid off and did it, it would have been in my head for 10 years. Like
Yeah.
I'd seen people do it, or I'd worked with coaches who have done it, or blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like,
I was like, not them, but like not me though.
exactly. Like I went for, I could never do that, but oh,
Yeah.
that's cool that they could do it. And then I was like, well, why can't I do it? And it was, and this is super weird, is I saw a meme of a 90-year-old or someone had gone and interviewed all these, senior citizens. And they said, what is the one thing in life you regret? And Elle, across the board, their answer was not doing the thing I wanted to do. It was never, I did this and I fell. I tried this and I failed. I started that business and it didn't succeed. It was, I never did that thing I wanted to do. I'm like, screw it. Okay, 2 things I want to ask.
Yes.
Okay, so I remember you're on the track team. Okay,
Yes.
so then COVID really, really got you really into running. Probably
Only
really
got me
saved you.
running like 10 miles a day. Fell in love with running because at that point it became my peace. The world is shut down. There's nothing
Yeah.
the only other thing you could do is go on your phone. The school became
Yeah.
so easy. It became like a 10-minute thing a day. And all of a sudden, like people
In
are
bed.
yeah, and people are getting so complacent with comfort. And rather than like going and making a way, I feel like there was a heavy underlying of just being, but being without pursuing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
running became that outlet for me where the world was shut down, but I could go and explore and I could go and adventure. And I saw like I've always been a very big dreamer, very courageous, bold. And it became an opportunity for me to have this time where then I was able to like go and run and see the world and like envision something so much bigger than what it was in that moment. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So you graduate from Avalani's, you
Yeah.
go to Boulder.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I remember you in my closet. You were out of my house. We were hanging out. And I remember like either you just gotten the letter, you were going to Boulder.
Mhm.
I can't, or you wanted Santa Barbara, but you didn't get in Santa Barbara. Oh, that's what, and you told me, of course, you had just like a lot of kids in your graduating year,
Yeah.
all the
It's
things. And it
so
was
funny you
just
say Santa Barbara because I also ended up then committing later on. This like the whole story.
right.
Santa
So
Barbara,
that's
but
what I
then
want.
decided yes.
Because talk about pivoting. I think
Yeah.
there
No,
were
picketing has, like, been a huge thing in my life, for
which
sure.
I want to celebrate,
Yes.
especially with your generation and kids younger, because what I have seen is with you guys, the pressure for you guys to know in high school, where do you want to go to school? What do you want to do with your life? I mean, again, I'm 54 years old, totally like restarting and figuring it out again. It's
100%.
I never felt that pressure that you guys.
Oh, yeah, the pressure, especially in an area that we grew up in, like,
Yes.
everybody knew what corporate job they were gonna work one day. Everyone had this, like, big, bold dream, and, I really did try and be complacent in it, and I had that season of life where I was like, "You know what? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go be a college kid, and I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be great." But, it's basically, like, my story is that,
Yeah.
number 1 was planning to go run out of high school, but ended
Okay,
up
you were. That was my question.
fractured.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I got a stress fracture right before my postseason and was in a boot, and the way that track recruitment works is that it's all your times, and all your times happen later on in the season when you're in, like, the most peak, but all of your PRs happen then later on. So, I went to Europe for 7 weeks when I first graduated high school, and that was I, like, left right after graduation, and it was my opportunity for the first time to be free in a sense, and I wasn't running, I was kind of, like, figuring out what I'm gonna be without running. Kind of identity exploring. I've always identified as this athlete, and first time I'm just such a honestly, a small speck in this wide place where all of a sudden I'm meeting a bunch of new people, and I'm hearing stories, and I'm gaining wisdom, and I'm gaining the opportunity to as well, like, understand how many diverse stories there are out there. And so on that trip, I ended up going to 12 countries, and it was an incredible eye-opening experience. And then from there, I basically went straight to Boulder. And Boulder, I loved so much. I joined the club triathlon team, I became invested in it, I rushed a sorority, and I was pouring myself all into it. But deep down, I just knew that
Mm.
honestly, it felt like I was just every other basic college student, and I was just going down the same path, and I had this tug on my heart that it was just like, "You're made for more," and I was taking the most incredible leadership class at CU Boulder, and I had my professor, he was a life coach who then volunteered once a week to teach a section about leadership, and he really uncovered the power of shaping your narrative. And it kinda eye-opened me because I, for the first time, felt like I had a sustainable grasp on the whole idea that truly at the end of the day, our own lives, we kinda write the story in some sense, you know? Like, every choice that you make, every decision you make, every bold step you take, it all leads to where you are, and the only moment you control is right here, right now, and so it's like, what are you doing right here, right now to achieve the dream that you have if you truly have it? And so at that time, I had such a tug on my heart to go and run again because I felt like I was doing all this, but the whole college life wasn't really for me. I don't get satisfaction out of partying. It's not my forte. Everyone around me is very much everyone around me was very complacent in it as well. Like they were very much just enjoying that natural college experience
Yeah.
of partying, rushing the sorority, all of that drama. And it was just like to me, what am I working towards right now that's going to grow me? And I felt like that situation wasn't pushing me in the direction that I wanted to go in my life. And so, after a very bold conversation with my leadership professor, I ended up making the bold decision and jump to transfer to a junior college to go and run track and field again, which was so scary because I'm telling everybody I'm at a 4 year and I'm about to go transfer to a junior college to go run again,
Mhm.
and people are looking at me like, "You're crazy, like, why are you stepping down if you're already at a 4 year to go to a 2 year? Like, who are you? Why are you doing this?" And it was terrifying, but genuinely the best decision I could have ever made.
Oh, that is so brave.
Oh,
Because, again, it's going against the norm. You have
yeah.
all these voices like,
Yeah.
you're crazy. Why
Right.
would you do that? So did
Yeah.
you and so you went to Cuesta, right? The junior college in San Luis
Yeah.
Obispo.
Love
Was that your then, did you have one full year at Boulder? And then you went there your
I had
sophomore year?
one semester.
One semester.
Semester, and I transferred that year and went and I had such a fire under my butt that that first season I was in track, I actually ended up having a short season because I dropped a weight on my foot, so it only so, like, you work out, you train into your same races.
Yeah.
Instead of having any workouts, my races were my workouts because I only had a 4-week season. So my races were me working out, and my coaches were like, "You just have to get 2nd place today." And that season, I ended up getting 5th in the state off of a 4-week season, and I was so but it was because I had this fire that I'm here and I have to do it, like, I have to do it.
Yes. I want, please help me spread this to people your age, people in
Yeah.
high school, kids in high school, your sister's friends, because
Okay.
you guys, you got to work hard.
Yeah.
You can't just sit back and like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you work your ass off. You can't just be like, oh, I want this. And then I mean, Elle, you're one of the hardest workers. I mean, just follow her on Instagram. I mean, it takes work, it takes effort, but
Yeah.
you have to lead your own path.
Yes.
And listen to that. But that's so hard. I know so many kids that do exactly what I mean. And hopefully my kids aren't doing it, but like, you gotta do what's best for you.
And you know what? It's like, I think that all of us we all have a dream, we all have a dream.
Yes.
Even, like, if you push yours so far deep, like, you still have a dream. And I think it's terrifying because it is a bold leap, especially in the season of life now where I am. Like, I've been making content for 4 years, and in the beginning of my journey, like, in analogy with this, I, for so long, was embarrassed to say it. I was embarrassed for people to look at my page. I was embarrassed to claim that I was like, "Yeah, I am, but I'm never going to be." You know what I mean? Because I didn't live thinking that I could. But the second you shift the mindset where you're like, "No, I am, and I do," and you look around at everyone else and realize people do it, and the only difference is that they're just doing it. The only difference between that only di They're just doing it.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm freaking out because, and it's the question of not why me, but why not me?
Why not you?
I'm like, yes. And it's like, I am determined to be, well, the Melissa Murphy, but the next Mount Almonds, and Melissa Murphy's out.
And I fully believe in it. Yay.
You're like, why not? And even I had another aha moment. I mean, I can talk to you for a gazillion hours.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when I decided to train for this bodybuilding, I was the same way. I was embarrassed to admit it.
Yeah.
Like
People
who am I?
Yeah.
I,
Yes.
in my 50s,
Yeah.
I didn't want to embarrass my kids. I didn't want to, do this and that. And then my coach,
It's a societal norm.
it's against the societal norm.
Yep.
And my coach is we do in the mind. I feel like every conversation I have with people too is the mind is the hardest part, right?
Mine, yep. And conquering it.
And conquering it and owning it.
Yeah.
And she's like, and so she's really big on mind work and
I
it's,
love that.
oh no, you have to, you can't, it's not about the push. It's not about the miles run. It's not about,
I don't believe, like, something I used to do before I would race.
yeah.
I read a book. I'm sure you know David Goggin.
Yes. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
very, very polarizing, very hardcore, but he's very inspiring and has some incredible tactics that do work. Something that stuck with me that I used to do before my races is literally look at myself in the mirror before and tell myself, if you don't believe, don't show up. Because if you walk onto the line and you don't believe in yourself, you already lost. Who are you to doubt yourself? If you show up and you're not confident in it, you already lost. You have to believe. You're the only one that, like, truly at the end of the day, it's you versus you. And if you're doubting you, you already lost,
Elle, we do a world tour. I know women will relate to you. The older ones will relate to me. I'm like,
Oh my word.
yes, yes,
Guys.
yes. It's so true. Okay, so you go to Cuesta.
Yep.
Okay, and then was UCLA always your dream school, or how did that evolve?
Interesting. UCLA was, I had a bet with my stepdad when I was in high school that if I could get into UCLA, I was going to win like a silly amount of money. Like I could never. This is how unrealistic it was. You know what I mean? It was the school #1 public university.
Totally.
Always dreamt of running for them. They're Pac-12, incredible. Um, but I had always known, same thing, dream school never felt like it could be me because it's like you have to be you have to be the
Well,
best
talk around here too, especially
Yes.
the area. You can't
Yep.
get into UCs because of this. You can't get into UCs because of that.
Like everyone they doubt themselves before they even have the opportunity
Because it's fear. They don't
Yeah.
want to try it and fail and not get it.
Exactly. People are too afraid to have but like rejection therapy is the most beautiful thing because you never know. I mean, I think a no is the most beautiful gift because either it pivots you, it makes you learn, it makes you reflect, and then it makes you get back and get better, you know? So if they tell you no,
Oh, that we need to pause on that. That is
Okay.
huge. And someone else said to me, "Al, rejection is just redirection."
exactly. And there's gonna be, I mean, life is full of rejection.
Oh, you have to embrace feeling, and that's another thing. Oh my god, I'm like, oh,
I love it.
I know, like, and especially with weight training, your goal is to fail.
You fail every
Literally,
Yeah.
your goal is to be like, I cannot do this anymore.
Yep, because at the end of the day, all that like working out is and lifting weights, it's tearing apart your muscle fibers, and going to tear it to its full potential.
Yeah.
and You go to your failure. But that stress so much to people, only you know your failure. And if you cheat when it starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you can still go, you're only cheating yourself. And I think a lot of people live life that way, where they cheat and they feel like, oh, all of a sudden, oh, this door is coming up, this roadblock. I'm just gonna pause. I'm just gonna stop. It's not for me. I have peace with that. No. You only know you're 100% and the world will never know if you didn't give it your all. And that it's like for me, I tell the people I love and I'm like, you can sleep at night knowing that you gave up a little bit early. You do you, but I know myself and I know I could never live peacefully knowing I didn't give everything I had.
Okay, Elle, I cheated on myself last week with my hack squats,
Mm.
and now that you're saying that,
So after,
like crap. And because you know why? I love the hack squat machine, but I need to stop saying that. I need to love it and embrace it because it's make me stronger. I was scared of the discomfort. It is so hard for me. So hard. I know I was a rep shy. Okay,
yeah,
so you know what? I'm gonna learn from that and not
yeah,
just
and it's
go
like,
for it.
but only you know how.
Yeah.
Like, and a big mantra that I adopted because especially like running, having running as your sport, you're consistently in a state of discomfort. It's learning how to push yourself in that way. But a big thing for me is learning about how to have peace in the pain.
Okay, peace in the pain.
And so, like, when you're in that situation on the hack squat and you are feeling like my body's gonna fall apart, I'm so terrified. I think that literally what I've learned, learning how to control your breath and control your state of like fight or flight, the more that you control your heart rate, slow the breath down, and literally find peace amidst the pain, you can do anything.
Oh my God, Elle, I'm gonna call you. I think I have to do them tonight. I have to go work up tonight. I think I'm gonna literally send you a video of me afterward.
You would no, I'm so excited. Please.
Peace in the pain.
Yes.
Okay, I love
Oh,
that. Okay,
to feel that. Like, what a privilege.
see, it's a blessing. That's your mantra.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go back. So when did you decide to apply? Did you have enough credits? Did you have to do an extra year at Cuesta?
I was at Cuesta. So this is actually the funny story. So I was at Cuesta then. So I did the first semester there. That was in the spring. I got 5th in the state for track, 800 meter. I was super happy with it. And then went back, decided to do another season, another year, ran cross country, went to state for cross country, did well, had this big, almost like, oh, she's coming back. The JUCO's small, but well-known, very competitive. And so as a key player, it was hard because I went back and then pulled my hamstring first race, and then managed to get myself back, and then won the Western State Conference. So won my conference championships in both the 800 meter and the 4x4 as the anchor, and did pretty well in the 15, and then went the race to go to state. I bonked. I bonked it. I was right there, and I was so frustrated in that season, and at that time, so at this point, I have 2 big offers on my table. Like, I'm, like, right about to choose. I had a full ride offer from Cal State Bakersfield, and then I had UCSB, and I was gonna go run track at either one. And for me, it was huge. UCSB had always been my dream school, but I did not, like, have scholarship from them. And to me, I was like, "Darn, am I about to go?" And I was so bought in, though. I was like, I had already committed. I was so sure I was gonna go. And but what really got me is, like, am I turning down a full ride offer for this? Like, I just started, calculating all of it. And right before I was supposed to go to UCSB at the end of this season, I was praying so boldly for an answer because I just felt this unease. And I think that kind of we know, like, when something doesn't feel right, I think it's so important to slow down and really think about why it's not feeling right. Because I do think that your gut instinct, your intuition, and like it means something. You need to reflect on it, right? And so I decided then to pray about it, and then I ended up feeling like I was being called to be patient, and right when I made that call to stay 1 more year, and at this point, I'm already making content. I know, like, I'm trying to do content creation, I'm singing at my church, I'm performing at farmer's market every Thursday.
Oh, I was watching you. Oh, amazing.
I created this life in SLO that I fell in love with, and I was like, "I don't feel like I'm being called to leave yet," and I had 1 more season of cross country, and so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna stay." Like, I wasn't happy with my offers, I'm gonna stay. So I stayed and I ran cross country, went to state again, and was doing well. I had a call and ended up running under a coach. Do you know Mount Sac?
No.
It's another JUCO. They're
Okay.
pretty well known. They're the top dogs in the JUCO system, but their 800-meter coach then became my coach. And so he would then send me the workouts every day. And during this whole time, while I'm at the JUCO, I'm working full time at a gym, and then I'm doing all my classes online, and I'm going to school in person, or like the only in-person thing I'm doing is track, and then doing all the classes online, working full time, and then performing and singing at my church. So like life is booked at this point. And
Life is booming.
life is booked. And so I'm in the season of life where this is now a year ago now. I am working a new gym opened in the area I lived in, and they were going as the content creator gym. And I'm very small town, basically the only person making content there. And it's so intimidating too because not only do you have this self-doubt of like fear of, oh my word, it almost feels like this identity crisis of I'm making content and calling myself a content creator, and I feel so like, oh,
Yes.
everyone in a small town is looking at you like, oh, they see everything. You think small town's already small, then you post your life online. It's terrifying. And so this new gym opened, and they're known for the content creator gym of the Central Coast. And I was like, okay. So then they ended up hiring me on full time. And at this point, I'm working 40 hours a week there. I'm there every day, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then before, I'm doing my track workouts in my morning section. My coach was located in LA, so he would send me to track workouts. And now I no longer have a coach I'm training with in person, no teammates next to me. I'm showing up at the track every morning by myself at 6 a.m. to go and hold myself to every pace, every recovery, and every rep. And it was the most mentally tough training of my life because all of a sudden, nobody's else, like, nobody
Right.
else is making you do it. You're showing up.
Right. It's
and
accountability. You're being
accountability. Yeah.
accountable to yourself is way
Oh,
harder
mm.
than being accountable to someone else. Because we'll give up on ourselves way easier than we will to someone else.
Yeah, and also, who no one else is here. Who would know if I went a little bit longer on my rest? Who would know if I didn't quite hit my pace, right? But you would know. You would know, and I think that season of life really challenged me because it was 7 months of training entirely by myself. Every rep, every time I showed up, everything. And it was really a season of isolation and growing because here I am I'm running in the mornings, I'm working full time at my gym during the day. While I'm at the gym, that's my time to edit and figure out everything, so I'm working on my content there while I'm working, and then after that, I'm getting my lift in, I'm typically doing a double run again, and then some days I'm going straight to rehearsal or I'm going like Thursdays, I would farmer's market every Thursday. And so it's like I had these big, bold dreams, and I'm like, "How am I going to make it work?" And I feel like that season of life really challenged me because it put me in a situation of, like, figure it out. And,
Wow. I'm exhausted just listening to that.
like, I was 20 years old at the time, and it's like, "Oh my word." But the thing that I realized is that if you want it, nobody else is gonna do it for you, and do you really want it enough? And it was like, are you going to let the voices around you stop you from putting yourself out there? Because and no, like, you have to be almost I know a lot of people say it, but you have to be almost delusional of just, like, you're gonna make it, and, like, you just have to stay consistent. Because thief of I think that the biggest thief of, like, completing anything or being successful is simply giving up too quick,
Absolutely.
you know? And people, when they hear that feedback or they hear one hater or they hear one thing, they're like, I can't do it." But I think I am very much just keep your head down, keep working. And a lot of people, a big analogy that I use to describe my life in that season is that you have a big rock and it's in the middle of the town square and you're a sculptor. And people are walking around and they're like, who is this person and why are they just chipping away at a big rock? Why are they tirelessly morning and night every day and they don't see the vision? But the sculptor sees it and they're like, just wait. And all of a sudden, a couple months later, a couple years later, the town, they start circling back, and all of a sudden they see Da Vinci. They're like, "What? The most spectacular thing ever." But it would never happen without hours, hours, and hours of tirelessly working at it and having a vision and having faith. I think if you don't have the vision and the faith and the solid foundation of why you do it, you'll crumble because it's not always easy. And the vision doesn't always look like it's there to everybody else. And you have to have the faith and the courage to be bold in who you are and why you're doing it.
1,000,000%. I mean, it's like, just preach, girl, just preach. I'm like mesmerized. Um, yes, perfectly said. Yes, yes, yes. So, okay, you're
So
training with this guy, and then how does UCLA come into play?
so I'm training he's sending me all my programs online. I'm training under him.
Okay.
I'm racing in Los Angeles. At this point, to be so honest with you, I thought I was quitting school. I'm quitting school. I'm doing content full time. I'm
Right.
staying here and I'm working like I was making enough to pay my bills. I'm like, I feel like I'm secure here. I can, I'm a big girl. I can handle my things. Like I have my life all set. And honestly, I applied to the UCs just because why not? Because if you don't shoot the shot, you'll never know. And you know what? I'm already not going to school in my mind. So
With the living.
the ironic thing is that I said to myself, the only school I would go to if I got in was UCLA. And I was like, I could never deny that because it's in the city of dreamers and where everyone, like all of it. And I was like, that would be perfect. And man, I applied not thinking a single thing. In fact, I forgot I applied. And I was so set in stone that I'm working, I love my life there. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
just doing my content, I'm doing my thing, I'm working, I'm so happy. I got an email from UCLA and I saw it and it's like, your UCLA application's ready to be reviewed. And to be so for real, I forgot I applied. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that. Okay." And this is kind of funny, you're gonna laugh out loud, but I have forgotten my password. And I was in mind, I'm like, I definitely didn't even get in. Like, there's no way. It's fine. Like, I'm so happy with the life. I'm so sure that like my life plans are set and sealed.
Yeah.
And I had this little tug on my heart. It's like, no, Elle, like go check. Go check. Figured it out. All of a sudden I read, congratulations, you have been admitted to UCLA.
Oh,
Okay, squad. Elle just got the yes from UCLA, but reinvention doesn't end when one door opens. In part 2, we step into what happens next. Moving to Los Angeles, building her platform, deepening her faith, chasing bigger dreams, and learning how to keep expanding when life starts moving fast. That conversation drops next week. And trust me, you don't want to miss it, because reinvention isn't reserved for midlife. Sometimes it starts at age 21. And that's it for this week. If this episode made you laugh, nod, or think, oh my God, same, hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss out on all the fun. So see you next time on Now What? And remember, midlife isn't a crisis. It's just a plot twist.